Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be replacing the coolant overflow tank on a 2005 Porsche Cayenne. And so I've got the tank right here in my hands, my brand new one, just got it in a couple days ago. And it's not really that big, but in the space I'm going to be working in, it's going to feel gigantic because I have to get it out. It's right here. And to do that, I got to remove everything that's in front of it. So this process will take about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Because I'm filming for you guys, it's probably going to take a little bit longer for me today, but that's all right. And then when I'm done, I'm also gonna have to burp the system, but we'll cover that in a separate video because it is something that you could do that's not related to this project. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, then stick around because that will be another video coming out in the future. But it is something that's gonna be required for me to finish up this project. So overall today, I should be working on the car probably a total of 4 to 5 hours. Okay guys, the first thing I need to remove is this spring clip right here, and something I need to consider in the process. If you are doing this, make sure that you don't damage this sensor right here. So this is your manifold airflow sensor and it is rather delicate. So while getting this out, just make sure you don't hit that and damage it, especially on these older cars. Since this is a 2005, this plastic is older and deteriorated, so they can get damaged pretty easily. I got one side, there we go, and just gotta hook the other side. And, all right, okay, so what I was doing there is, you can see on this little spring, it goes in opposite directions here. So when you put it down in there, it just gets hooked on, and I don't wanna damage that by just yanking it up, so I'm just releasing those. Okay guys, with the spring clip out, my next step is I need to remove these. Now these don't screw in, they actually just have to turn a little bit, so I gotta turn about halfway. And you see these little nipples that stand up right behind them, that's the alignment point that I need to turn these to. So I'm just gonna turn them there, and then they will be able to pull out. Okay, there's one. There's two. Okay, after a little bit of trial and error here, since these have never been pulled out before, we finally got it down. So the best thing to use is a vice grip and come from overhead and just kind of wiggle it back and forth a little, and it will come out eventually. There we go. Okay, and the reason for all that effort is when I turn it, I'm aligning this little bottom part of the key up with the hole so that I can come straight up. All right, now that I've got both of those things out, now I can remove this. There we go. There's one side, and I gotta free it from here. If I have any space to work in here. Okay. And that's it. Okay, my next step is I really want to get this off, but to do that, I need to get this hose out of the way. So first thing I need to do is come up here where the tank is, and I'm gonna squeeze this clip together and I'm gonna slide it back. Okay, just like that, get it out of the way. Now I can pull it off from the tank. Okay, and now from here, it will come out. Just push it out, there we go. I'm gonna take the clip off so I don't lose it. And now my next step is there are two metal clips that hold the front of the air filter housing on, and I only have one. One is currently missing, so I need to replace that, but I'm gonna lift up on this one. And now I can pull forward and lift up and take that off. Next, real easy, I'm just gonna remove the air filter. And pull that out of the way. And now I need to work on removing the actual housing for it, which should be this bolt right here. Okay guys, to get this off, I have one 10 millimeter bolt right here I need to loosen, and then down here, I don't know if you can see it, where my hand's reaching in, there is a intake hose right there, and I need to get that off as well so that this will be free. Okay, finally got the air hose off down here at the bottom, so now I'm going to pull this out, hopefully. There we go. And it is a tight fit, that's for sure. All right, with the air filter housing out, I got 3 bolts that I need to take off so I can get this bracket off. Now to do that, I need to take off a bolt that's right here. I need to take off the bolt that is right on the back, right here, which you can see the front of right there. And then the last one is tucked away back there. And see if we can keep my head out of the way. It's right there. And I gotta take that one off too. All 3 of those will take off this bracket. All right, I'm gonna try to get them all loose before I take them all out. So I'm gonna try to reach back in here and get this one. That one wasn't too bad. And then the last one, I need to get a bigger extension. There's one. There's 2. That's 3. Okay, with all the bolts off, now I can get my bracket out. There we go. Okay, last thing I need to do before I can remove the coolant tank is I need to drain it. So I have about a gallon or 2 in there that I need to get out. So I'm using a siphon right now, just a little hand pump siphon, and I'm flowing it down through the car because this is the best way. Going over the fender had it was too much rise in the hose, and so it wasn't working. So I'm gonna come right down, and I got the tank down there underneath. And once I got it drained or got most of it out of there, then I'll remove the tank. All right, so I drained the tank of as much fluid as I could, and now I'm gonna remove this electrical sensor. Now you could have removed this earlier when you did the hose right here, but you've got to catch on top and bottom, and then we need to very delicately wiggle it free. It's loose. And now I need to loosen that. Okay, tank is free. Now with the tank free, I am able to access this hose clamp right here. Okay, that hose is free. Now we just got the big one. Okay, the last thing I need to do to get the tank free is I got a hose clamp down here, which I need to loosen up, and then remove this rather large hose, which I've also clamped off to try to avoid making a total mess. And then as soon as the tank is free, we're gonna tilt it vertical to try to avoid spilling whatever coolant's left in the tank on the floor. Ready? Come on. Yep. Okay, clamp is free. Almost there. Yep. All right, guys, that's it. I've got the old one out and I've got the new one here in my hand, and I'm just gonna install the new one here by reversing the process that I just did. All right, that's fully on. Okay, what I forgot to mention earlier, and what you just saw me fighting there with on the video, is that to get this properly seated, it has this bracket underneath that slides into a bracket on top of the this fender right here. So I gotta slide it in there, and then the hole will line up with where the screw was in the fender. This hose, which comes with the unit, it's not currently in its right spot. It needs to come loose. Put right there, in between, and then I gotta shove it back down into a hole right here. And if it's tight, just use a little hand soap, lubricate the area. Okay, so Porsche being Porsche, they have a torque setting for everything basically. So this back one is going to be 44 pounds. Okay. All right, this one you need to go up to 90, but the first one they want you to hit is 37. So we're going to do 37 first, and then I'm going to go for a bigger torque wrench for my 90. All right, 44 pounds for this one. There we go. Okay guys, that completes replacing the coolant expansion tank on a 2005 Cayenne S. So this was actually fairly easy once we got through the whole process, and putting it back together was incredibly easy. It only took like 30 minutes. So now the biggest factor of course was getting all the coolant out of the tank, and luckily there was still some coolant in there, but we didn't make a mess when we got it finally removed. But of course we drained it first. Now this doesn't complete the entire process. I still have to burp the system, and that does require a special tool, but that process is its own video honestly. So join us next time, because I will show that in a separate video for those of you who need to burp your system but don't necessarily need to replace your tank.